Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another last Epoch dev stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Hello, we made it. Whew. Alrighty then. We're gonna start off. We're gonna dive right into. We're just gonna do an Abberoth just for fun. Let's start off strong. Yeah. And we've got a sub right out of the gate. Mr. Flibble, thank you very much for the sub. That's 2 years. That is 2 years. Is it Friday the 13th? Oh my god, it's Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th to you too. I did not even notice. It's always cool.
You'll finally return to me, and with a guest. But first, prove yourselves worthy.
Alright. Well, if this is your first time here, glad to have you with us. I am one of the developers for Last Epoch, Love Tower Games, and I'm here to play some video games and answer some questions. If you have any questions for me, please put Last Epoch Game in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them as soon as possible. I'm not doing a very good job in this one. I wonder if it'll actually, Come on, chunk him. Let's go. Nice. Oh, feeling good there. All right. Helmet. Hey, helmet. All right.
You can rest now.
I'm gonna come back up here now. We do have a whole bunch of teasers here for you today. Whole slew of them. Variety of styles and types, depending on what you like. Probably something for you. I think I got them all set up. We'll see. All right, hopping right in. Afternoon, we know that season 4 is Shattered Omens. What is the actual theme? Season 3 was around dinosaurs. I mean, it's the theming. I don't know how to describe. I don't have a good word for the theme. I don't have a good like one word, because this is actually asked last stream as well, and I didn't have a good answer then either. I don't have a one word. This is the theme. Corruption? Is that a theme? I guess that could be the theme, yeah. Oh my god, my bear's name is Alfred. Do you guys see that? Alfred! That is wonderful. Turn this down a little bit. A little loud. I don't know if that was coming through. Echoey. I love that my bear's named Alfred. Thanks for streaming, Mike. Really appreciate it. You're welcome. I love streaming. Glad you guys have fun. That was surprisingly easy. I thought that was going to be tougher. Not mad at it. Oh, right. What should we put in here? This is re-rolling the, like, quality of the rolls on an item. I don't actually know if there's anything I want to re-roll right now. I guess I could re-roll one of these. That one's pretty good. Those are both really good, actually. Maybe I don't. Did I just waste this a little bit? Oh, I'll come back and do it again if I actually want to. Can you tell us if the mechanic to start the breach is just to click or to go? Is there something more to it? Hopefully. The initial like first version that you first come across is very straightforward how to initiate it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the like when you first encounter it in the very beginning of the campaign, and you'll go up and you'll just click on one to start it. Anything interesting at all? Not really. Well then. Oh yeah, apparently my bear getting evaporated last stream by the poison pools from the the rift beast. There was a little clip of that floating around, and those poison pools are getting nerfed because of it. Down here. What is a shattered omen? Kind of hard to describe. There's a lot of questions about what's exactly happening in the mechanics. These are things that are going to be revealed in detail in the like hype week posts that are coming up. So it's kind of hard to really describe in detail what it is before those happen. It's like a window into bad stuff happening, I guess. Wait, that's the key combination. We are forgetting what our hotkeys are, apparently. Let's go this way. What is my favorite thing about last Epoch? Oh, that's a tricky one to answer. These are good questions today. I think there's Master Sword 58 months. Oh my goodness. I think that's the highest. That is incredible. Thank you so much. Oh, we do stream for charity, so all of the stuff for the stream goes to the charity above my head, which is Child's Play. I should probably mention that. My favorite thing about last Epoch, there's a couple things that I maybe couple different categories. Like my favorite things about like playing the game itself, is like just trying stuff out, just trying out combinations and seeing I guess what doesn't work, and how to force it to work. That's the sort of thing I really like doing when playing. You know, like playing a two-handed rogue when two-handed rogue had no support, sort of thing, and like doing stuff like that. Silly stuff that shouldn't and really, frankly, doesn't work, but still is fun. But I think like about the game as a whole existing, like I think my favorite thing is when I meet someone who, like, I'm just like talking to like a parent at the school that my kid goes to or something like that, and like I find out that they've actually played the game or something like that and had fun with it, and you know those moments I think are my favorites, of like just finding someone randomly who's had fun with what we've made. Okay. Oh, hey, nice. All right. We take those. A free reroll. After we demolished all of the legendary potential off of basically all of our uniques last time. And then like favorite character build to play is like definitely a marksman style bow character. Favorite. All right, are there any plans to implement a way to see total DPS, like a target enemy that shows DPS and max hit? We've really been very hesitant to show any sort of like hard trackable DPS, like DPS meters sort of thing. And that's not something we're planning on right now. It's not like, I don't want to say no forever sort of thing, but it's not been something we've ever put down on like a wish list of things we want to do. It changes the dynamic, I think, of the game a little bit, having like actual DPS meters existing. I know it's a different genre, and I know like there's lots of different things about it that it's not quite a one-to-one comparison, but I do remember playing WoW a lot where like I was just like staring at the DPS meters sometimes. And I don't know if that's this type of experience we're looking for here. At the same time, it is a valuable tool when build crafting. So I don't know. Like DPS meters that only exist in a specific zone. That feels like the sort of thing that, like, as soon as we do that, we just have to roll it out everywhere. Are Runes of Havoc going to be added to prophecies in Season 4? There's no new prophecy rewards, I don't think, in Season 4. So I don't think so. Any thoughts about a Dragon class, a tanky ascendancy elemental, and a melee caster one? I mean, yeah, I think we've talked about that before. There's a post from Judd like 5 years ago or something like that, being like, who wants a Dragon class sort of thing. And you know, I think there's thematically, it's really fantastic. It's a vibe that is it doesn't happen very often. There's not a ton of examples that you can point to. Recently there's one that like just added, but you know, like there's not a lot of them usually, surprisingly enough. So I'd love to. I like adding an entire dragon mastery class with three masteries right now is a very big undertaking, to say the least. Right. My G key is portal in. In D2 right now. All right. Hello, Mike. Are there any new surviving options for stand and channel builds? New surviving, like there's like tankiness buffs for things like disintegrate. Poison channel, wandering spirit, warlock was a hard one to beat. 1,000 corruption. I mean, 1,000 corruption is like really, really good. Like really, really, really good. So if you're hitting that at all, like, even if it was hard, wow, great job. There are a few, I don't know off the top of my head specific changes to that. That is a play style that we are constantly working on from a design perspective of like, how do we make this fun? How do we make this interesting? And all stuff like that. So it's, yeah. It is something we've been actively looking at, but I don't have a really good, here's the solution yet for you. Okay, so poison pools, we are going to avoid. Or just die. One of the two. And you know what that means. All right, which one should we do? There's so many here. I don't even, how do I even pick this? Let's do. We'll start small. We'll start small. We'll ease into it. Okay. Just drop them all. Okay. Well, here is a little look at a new node for black hole. Might seem rather innocuous. But you know, an extra charge can be a dangerous thing sometimes. So yes, black hole is getting an extra charge node next season. Oh my gosh, what is... Resist lightning? What is this? Oh, my bear's dead, that's what's going on. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh, okay, let's pretend that didn't happen. I lost Alfred. Oh no. Did I get someone new this time? Who did I get? Oh, Primal Bear. No, nothing fun. That's too bad. Just come on. Let's get around here. Lure everybody in. All right. What's the latest on having some sort of reusable stash layout? The latest is we're still working on it, really. Basically, as far as I know, it's not in for season 4. Double check that. We'll double check that. Last I heard, it was still being worked on, though. And we are, as of today, at Gold Lock, so not happening after today. And now we're into starting to put together patch notes and just testing and major bug fixes, or even minor but important bug fixes only. Right. Dang it. Now here I just want to just challenge it right away to get it over with, but there's always a chance it gets a second one. We gotta try. If it gets 2, then we can at least use it to re-roll things later. All right, maybe 2 random for. Oh, we got a reply here. Wait, what's it say? A little reply. One second. Is he typing? Okay, no, it did not make it in. It will not be here for season 4. I'm sorry. Still working on it. There's lots of stuff to get just right with it. It being the stash layout, like rollover from season to season. All right. Maybe too random for you, but do you guys are aware that death recap don't work in other languages of the game yet? I'm not aware of that. That's surprising, though. It should... Yeah, that is very surprising. Please submit a bug report using the in-game bug reporting tool by pressing the F8 key. And that'll get addressed. I mean, I can understand how it happened. Where it is in the UI is kind of a weird spot, so it may not have got flagged when we went through and like cataloged all of the fields for localization. So I can see how that would have happened. But it's very surprising that it did happen. All right, can you tell a story of a technical challenge you've recently overcome? I mean, most of the technical stuff that I've been dealing with lately is like, I got this ability's cooldown to function properly. Hooray! There was a bug with all these things are so specific and niche, they're not interesting. I don't know, like there was a bug with a new style of node we're working on for being able to have like penetration versus stunned enemies, and like element specific, like damage type specific penetration versus like conditional enemies, so like stunned, frozen, things like that. And the conditional effect for versus stunned in particular was applying physical penetration at 7 times the rate, but wasn't applying any penetration at any other type. So you couldn't do any of the other ones. You couldn't do fire, lightning, cold, poison, necro, or void. It was physical only, and it was always 7 times. And it was just like the loop that was set up to go through all the different penetration types was iterating over the wrong variable, and so it was doing it was doing physical 7 times on the first slot instead of doing all of them individually on each slot. That's not a very good one, really. Like, we have, like, as a team, very recently just tanked the amount of memory in a good way that the game needs on like startup and the amount of memory that's used over time throughout gameplay sessions and things like that. So like, this is an ongoing really big technical challenge because we are working towards console release, and one of the major hurdles for console release is specific memory budgets for different things. So startup memory budget and gameplay over time memory budgets. So not me personally, because I was not involved with it at all. Rightfully so. But it is really nice. So if you are having memory issues, you can look forward to those updates. Get out of the poison pool. That one's strong too. I really want to do like combination champions. like the volcano whirlpool champion. That'd be sweet. Put both affixes on the items. Yeah. There's some craziness. Some stuff there, I guess. Kinda, sorta. Hello and good afternoon. Hello and good afternoon to you too. With some of the Necromancer gear updates and Hope Lich's Scorn will also get any Hope. I think it's supposed to be any Hope Lich's Scorn will also get an update. I would really like to. It would really help unlock the Cold Necromancer. That wasn't one of the ones that. So I put in a big, like, submission for a lot of the set items to rework a bunch of them. That's not one of the ones that was on that list. But I do know that some of the other ones on that list were also updated. And I could look this up, I think. Don't think there's any risk of this actually showing up on screen. Handy new release diff tool. I should do this when I'm posting something, so you can look at that while I do this. Doesn't look like much. No. I just searched the word Scorn in there, and there was basically nothing. That may be one of the few that got left out. Cleanse that mark for death off. I think that works. The turtle's so big that it's actually like getting in the way. That's funny. Oh. Art. Well, it's a good thing I brought a lot of these. Let's stick on theme. Here's another cooldown node for Black Hole. I will post all of these in Discord immediately following the stream. So if you don't worry about taking screenshots again, I'll get you proper images. These guys are hard. My goodness, what is going on here? Do some other notes to get our oh yeah, I can't do this while teaser's up. Right. He'll just sit here. Yeah, Black Hole's getting a few little tools this time. It's not like a full overhaul. So we're pushing it in the right direction here. But it's pretty sweet. All right, the next teaser we do, would you prefer something more like UI sort of optional things? Would you prefer more of an item thing, or would you prefer more of a node thing? You guys want an item thing? Okay, next thing we'll do is an item thing. Oh no! Meanwhile, I take my weapon off mid-fight and just die a horrible death. What was that, Mike? Where were these points? I want to say here and here. Gonna give it a shot. I'm pretty sure it's this and this. Oh yeah, I gotta give you another another teaser. Read something my bear. Is that what it was? Oh my god. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's just I'm gonna put this up here. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Gotta slow down here. We're gonna run out of these. Okay, here is the here's an example of the we got a request for the Reforge version of the doppelganger set, so you can see which affix gets pulled over from reforging it onto a exalted to make a reforged set item. Right. I'm gonna play the injured card here. And you may have noticed that my finger looks a little weird. I injured myself whilst cooking recently. And buttons I'm pressing are not always the buttons I'm trying to press right now. Mike is crystallizing. I was at urgent care and they're like, we're just gonna freeze the area, and I'm like, not with a needle, you're not. Horrible needle phobia. I'm like, I'll take pain over a needle. Let's go. All right. Yeah, with my debilitating gamer injury, I may have to get some help with Uber Abberoth next week. We'll see. 'Cause I don't think it's happening on my own. All right, do we get a second one? Nope. Who's surprised? Not me. That's okay. Mike is current. Wait, Nightbot, you're a little confused. I'm not playing Golemancer. Just keep your health above 0 while reducing Uber Abby's health to 0. That is some of the best advice I've ever received, I think. Universally correct. Okay. Get it. You're the top dog. Ouch. Let's clean this up. Whoop, whoop. No, don't reset it, Mike, because you got a couple cool things left here. Good afternoon. Hello and good afternoon. With some of the necromancer. Oh, I already answered this. I thought the start of the question was pretty awesome. So you know. Hey Mike, in the season 4 trailer, I noticed some nice UI improvements. Wonderful. On the monolith map. Yes, you did. I also noticed there were no quest echoes at the top like usual. Are quest echoes still a thing in season 4? The way you progress through monolith and is a little bit different. You also may have been looking at empowered, which does things a little bit differently again. The quest echoes as a whole aren't completely vanishing. That doesn't count. Does that count? I don't think that counts. I still got everything, right? Guys, we're gonna run out so early if we do all of these. All right. Okay, we've got this is some audio focused one here. This is the these are new drop sound options for the filter. I'll be quiet when it starts. Here we go. Is it playing? Can't hear them. Awesome. Awesome. I'm like, this doesn't look like anything's coming through. Just a moment. Does Mike know how to make sound come through? It says it's playing. Got it. Restart. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, sweet. Cool. Some new filter sounds. Wonderful. Great. Finally, some notification options for the dev community. Yeah, that was funny. I got the bear. I got the bear. Yes, so we are making some adjustments to how the echoes work, how monolith works in general, how you unlock new timelines, how you progress through those timelines. This was actually something that we started for season 3. And the project ballooned a little bit. Little scope creep action happening. And so we ended up holding it back a little bit. But I'm really happy we did because the version we have now is going to be awesome. I really want this item to shine. I think it's getting a little buff. I think it's getting just a cheeky little buff here. Maybe this. Right, it's LP rates going up. That's what it is. So it's gonna be easier to get legendary versions of them. Alrighty then. On the topic of skill balancing, either buffing or nerfing, I'm curious what typically is the motivation to motivation to so more so. Looking at either player or developer dissatisfaction, I understand there are more factors. I'm just curious about the weight of those two factors. Yeah, I think develop, like if we're gonna put like developer dissatisfaction and player dissatisfaction of or satisfaction of a skill level like against each other and apply weight to them, I would say the developer satisfaction probably actually gets higher weighting in the end, but I think the trigger for us to look at and consider specific skills probably comes more frequently from player dissatisfaction. So we'll very frequently like start looking at a skill on if we want to make a change to it, like really in earnest, in like a group, being like let's analyze the skill and really take a good look at what we want to change if we do want to change anything about it. The trigger for that conversation usually stems from feedback from players, and it's usually less, the feedback's usually less, or like the start of that conversation is usually less about like, here's the player's suggestion, do we do it? It's more of like, the players have identified an issue with this, what's the best way to handle that? And like, there's so many different ways you can go about that. Sometimes it's a really roundabout way, like looking at other skills that are frequently paired with it even. Looking at gear stuff sometimes. You know, there's lots of different things that can be sort of paired with an ability feedback to make the change in the first place. I might need to drop the corruption if we're going to get to the end of the stream and still have teasers left near the end. Good golly. Getting my butt handed to me. Light mages are scary. All right. Deep breath, Mike. You can do it. Mandatory weekly character sheet reminder. Thank you very much. Did you get your count back? I teased because it just happened to me too. All right. Hey Mike, happy Friday. Have you guys looked at Twitch integration like Borderlands 4 so you can mess with streamers that hang out in Bazaar for extended periods? Guilty? Is that you? No, not to that degree. We've looked at Twitch integration as a possibility. There are certain things that we think would be awesome. I think the most common sort of like Twitch integration that gets requested is the ability to do character lookups from streams. So like having plugins where people could, like right now, where as you're watching this, you could just open up my inventory and be like, oh, let's look at his gear. And having that ability, you're like, oh, let's see what his skills are like, and you can like go in here and tell me how I've built my skills wrong, sort of thing. And like that sort of interaction, I think, is something that would be great. I guess I could drop a bunch around that actually now. Interesting. I should not have done this one. And I should go do an I'm gonna complete it. We should go do a cemetery and drop a bunch of breweries around this. Okay, what's the best one we've got here? So we're looking at 20, 40, 100. It's got 59. Yeah, that's the most important roll. Get chunked, Mike. All right. Now that we are close to the new season release, very hyped, by the way. Me too. Thank you. One of my friends sends me a message every morning on how many days till patch. I'm like, I'm stressed out about how much time left there is already. All right, can we expect a stable time frame between seasons going forward? I don't want to make any promises here on this, because every time I'm like, we're gonna do better than last time, and it's improving, and I think it is. But fully stable, I don't know if we're there yet. I think part of the problem right now is because we are pushing for a console release, the timings for that are going to throw off the release after 1.5. So like we'll probably get 1.4, 1.5 pretty smooth, and then and LEO, the timing on that's going to be dictated by stuff that we can't really entirely control, or things that we just have because we have to put certain pieces of it out so far before the patch. I don't know if that's going to be consistent or not. But once we have the first release done, that's the thing, is like the first console release is such a big hurdle, but after that it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier. So we once that's out, there's going to be a period where we're in this, like, able to just, we've got the systems we're on established, and we're able to do these updates, and it'll run a lot more smooth. Will the Harbinger needles eventually count as keys to be placed in that tab? They're still where they are, but I agree with this one. We aren't changing that right now, because soon enough we won't need to change it. Like, other stuff's happening that's gonna shake the system up even more. Longer term stuff. Will there be any new transform MTX in the future? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The goal is every skill will have MTX associated with it. So like some sort of cosmetic change for every skill is the goal. Transforms are one of, if not the biggest, especially transforms with minions. So like Swarmblade is a mega gigantic colossal thing to overhaul, because there's like elemental conversions on subskill minions that need to be, like, it's just crazy how many things that need to be done for it. We've actually been we got told to be, if you're going to be making a new subskill, like try and use others, like subskills from other skills if you can, when making new nodes for certain skills, if it makes sense, if it works and functions nicely, and like it fits properly, so that the MTX versions of those can be reused. And sort of instead we were just like, okay, well, we'll just trigger like main abilities instead. Problem solved. Which is even better, so. As a Warpath VK enjoyer, can I expect any changes in Season 4? Item changes, yes. Skill tree, skill node, like passive trees and skill, like Warpath skill tree nodes. Very light, if any, sort of thing. But you know, like there's lots of stuff happening in the item world right now with, like, this is probably one of the biggest overhauls to one of the bigger overhauls to the item system we've done, I think. Adding corruption changes a lot. It might be too grandiose of a claim. It's one of the bigger power ceiling jumps in items we've done. Maybe one of the biggest we've ever done. Okay, should we go to a cemetery and try and plop some stuff in there that we want to redo before we do any more nodes over there? There is a cemetery over there. This one right here. Oh yeah, next to all these barnacles I never finished. That's how I'm gonna get myself killed. Alright. It's weird. Normally we get a dude out of those. Ursine Enigma. It's like a self-reference of a reference. You can even see on the like the pattern right there. I don't know if that looks familiar to anyone. Wait, I'm streaming early today. No, I'm not streaming early today. Well, kind of. Daylight savings time happened. So crazy parts of the world that change their clocks twice a year. For everyone else who's not living in a crazy place. It's 1 hour different. Do the chained echoes have their own tree, by the way, or is that just a built-in system in the monos themselves? It's built into the monos themselves. Hey, Mike, tricky question, and I don't know how to formulate it correctly. That's okay, let's try. Let's do it. Let's work together. But do you trend more towards 6 to 7 classes with 3 subclasses, or can we hope for a 4th subclass for each? There are still so many possibilities. Is there a world where we get around 20 plus subclasses 1 year or later? And of course, thanks for the game. You're welcome. Glad you're playing and having fun. If I was gonna guess where we'd end up next, well, the next thing coming out is something called the Paradox class. That's the next thing, and it works a little differently and doesn't really fit into the same paradigm as the other classes, and I can't really discuss it too much. But it's a little different. I think that we will end up with I think we'll end up with a 4th subclass before we end up with another normal class. That's Mike's guess. That's Mike's estimation. That's not a guaranteed fact by any stretch of the imagination. But Mike's guess is we'll have 4 masteries before we have an entirely new, fully masteried, like, base class in the same way that the other base classes exist. And with that guess, I think it's important that I don't think that all 4 of those masteries will happen in the same patch. That would be insane. Although we are kind of doing more skills than that anyways, more nodes than that. Any progress on MTX not resetting between seasons? Sessions, I think this is supposed to be. Yes, it is sessions. I can read. There's a bug that certain accounts can have this affected on. You either have it or you don't. There's a few fixes floating around. I saw one on Reddit 2 or 3 days ago, and all the comments were like, "This worked, this worked, this worked." So there is a fix floating around out there. If you're unsure how to do it, please contact support and they can help you with it. Or just look up the Reddit post recently. Maybe we can find it. I don't want to go digging through Reddit on stream. I don't see it right away. It was there recently, I swear. Is the lizard dimension going to be visitable with the lizard tails? Do you have the stats on how many lizard tails have been found by players? Because they totally exist, right? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. You keep bringing this up like there's some joke of like lizard tails that appear in the game. And I can't tell if it's like an item that like the community's like colloquialized, like decided is like lizard tails or something like that. But just, I'm so confused. This is a good one, wasn't it? It's almost believable. Almost. Do you think that limiting primordials to one unique or one exalted T8 was a success in the end? What do you think about allowing one each? How does that fit / not fit with the philosophy of the primordial items? I do think that's a successful thing. I think that it is. I think we didn't quite get the balance right, and I think that some of the primordial uniques were just like a little too strong, sort of thing, and that probably threw off the distribution we're seeing, and getting a full like a normal like an even distribution was never really the goal there. The T8 affixes for the exalted primordials was kind of more of a like a safety net. And it was something that we weren't even sure we were going to put in the first place. They were added in to make it so that if a player found themselves in a situation where they're like, because all of the primordial uniques were so focused in what they could do, if a player was in a situation where they're like, I'm making this build and none of the primordials are good for my character at all, and maybe even the ones that are like the one that's like the best, even if none of them are really good, but the one that's the best, I'm going to take one anyways because they're so powerful. Maybe it sits in a slot that is like a slot that turns the build on, that just makes the build impossible without this item, then I just can't use any primordial items. And you're stuck in the situation where you're like, there's this cool new mechanic and none of it's for me. And so in that situation, we wanted to add the T8 affixes as sort of a fallback for those players who would still have some option to put into place. And from that perspective, I think it was successful, yes. I think we will see a little bit more of a shift. In general, I think we're hoping to slowly shift more towards Exalteds being a viable option in general. Because I think it's pretty clear that in general, uniques are, like you look at a character and you're like, unique, like, or legendaries all over the place sort of thing. I know I'm a terrible ambassador for what I want to have happen. I want to beat Abberoth. Come on. All right. I don't think we can get one from him. Oh, I'm wildly wrong. And a good one at that. Okay. We are... Oh, I want to level it up, but I'm scared to take this amulet off. Come on. There we go. Ox. All right. Do we have any breweries? I don't even know which one it is. Down here somewhere, isn't it? There it is. This one, can I see what this range is? Nice. That gets that. I think that counts. All right. We're going to get a belt. Sure would be nice if those are searchable. I agree. I agree. Okay. We want the melee attack, medium melee attack speed. Do this one. And we'll grab this one. Harum. All right. And we can go home. Beautiful. Get a belt. Let's do it. Oh, I've got some questions to catch up on. Okay. Are there going to be more buffs for old uniques like the ones you've shown in Terra Monthly? There are a lot of unused items that use with a lot more tweaking numbers. With more tweaking of numbers. Yeah, there's the ones that we showed are not the only ones. We didn't do every single one. But yeah, it's the sort of thing that we are interested in doing is, you know, refreshing some numbers is not a super hard thing to do. But it is something that does require like vetting and testing and checking, and like it's not just so much of a like looking at something being like, yeah, those numbers can go up by 5, those numbers can go by 10% sort of thing, and like just clap clap done sort of thing. Like it does need to go through a process still, and finding time in the development schedule for that to fit is important. Okay, gonna jump up, try and save time. Wasn't so smart. I gotta time it so that it comes around the corner at the same time. Oh. None. Come on. How much combat feel animations and sound effects are improved for season 4? So there's, especially for Rogue, there's a ton of hit sound improvements. So there's like, right now, basically, not to say every, but almost every like melee hit sound is like the same sound. And so we're doing a huge shift in that, where we're adding in tons of sound variations for especially small hits. And that'll roll out across every skill eventually, focusing on Blade Dancer for 1.4. Combat feel animations, so there's like little things like we're splitting the torso of the character animator. So that the bottom and top halves can animate independently, which means that we can increase the time between starting to use an ability and starting to move after starting to use that ability. So the bottom half can get moving while the top half is still finishing the animation a little bit. And that just helps smooth out combat a little bit. Because every skill has like different phases that they go through of timing, and when you're like locked into position, when you're locked into the ability happening, like when you can cancel it, what type, there's different parts of the process that you can cancel it with different types of abilities. So movement abilities can cancel things earlier than a second attack can, things like that. And so we're shortening the timing on when you're locked into animation and when you can't move and cancel those abilities, so that it helps with combat feel a lot. Right, you made shatter enemies when killed while frozen. What's next? Dismemberment, maybe? I'd love to. Don't know if we're gonna go that far. The thing about shattering that makes it a lot more possible is that you can hit an enemy that's frozen. You can make contact in like the shoulder or the foot, and shattering animations or VFX still make sense once they're frozen. But a dismemberment with a wand does not. Like hitting someone in the leg with a wand does not make sense. So there's no like impact point animation variance required for a shattering system, but there is for a dismemberment system. So it might be a little tricky. Can we get the impact of blows so that the enemy react like they used to, as in the fly away from the directional when killing? Oh, like ragdoll on death. That used to happen, but now it doesn't act like that. Yeah, there's certain enemies that does still happen to, I think. I doubt we'll be going back to it wholesale. You know what I haven't done in a while? We're because I'm going to answer some. I'm going to roll through some questions here. I'm going to prepay for my next death here. We're going to prepay for our next death. While I do this, here's okay. So here's the shield throw affix that goes on your body armor that's getting changed. Clicking on shards is not satisfying / fun. Yeah, I agree. Have you thought about making them obtainable only by shattering? Yes. We're not doing that though. We are targeting for a few patches away from now. Some pretty big changes to the shard system in general though that will fix this. So yeah, I agree it's a problem. We are looking at fixing it. It's a few seasons off. How many uniques and set items are coming in season 4? Ooh, how many new ones? I don't know. More. Oh, I don't. I was gonna say more than last season, but then I'm like, oh, I forgot about all the primordial ones. This is a good chunk. There's a good chunk. There's a good chunk of new sets. We've already shown those most of those off. Possibly all of those off now. Not 100% sure what we've shown up, but yes, we are. Can I see how many? Let's see if I can see how many quickly. Oh no, a new field. Right. Okay. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess and say 20. I think that's a really good guess. I think I'm within a few, one way or the other, with that. The reason I'm laughing is that every single unique in the game got changed. Has a change in its file because we added a new field to unique item serialization. So there's like every single one of them just got a new number on them now. That's to do with corruption, basically. Yeah. So I went to look at the list of all the things that were changed, and every unique is there in the list. All right, can we get the filter sound control separated from all others? Filter sound control separated from all others. I see what you mean. In the settings, like having the loot filter as its own slider bar in here. That's a good idea. If that's not done for season 4, no, not for season 4. But if it is, I'd say that could be a good season 5 thing. Please go put that in the suggestions channel on Discord or our forums if you want to see it. What is the coolest thing you've done or seen done with the unlimited corruption ring? It is it's kind of wild what comes out of it sometimes. And I'm not gonna give a specific example because it's so random. It's so random that it's I think gonna be really hard to get something incredible from it. But at the same time, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun because there's no like I think for people who are a little hesitant about taking items that they have that they know are good and corrupting them, I think it's gonna be a really fun process. because you're going to be going from like there's nothing risk really sort of thing with it, and the items that it spits out are really funny sometimes. And I think my favorite ones have been the ones where it is like there was this was before we changed some mods, because this mod doesn't actually exist anymore, but it was like reduced elemental resistance and elemental resistance on the same thing. So it was like it was completely canceled. The affixes were like canceling each other out, which I thought was funny. That affix doesn't exist anymore, so it's fine. Will there be fixes / options to enemies having the same animation as yourself? For example, avalanche. I died way too often to the enemy ones because I thought they were mine. Yeah, that's a good point. And we do actually use different ability objects, just the VFX is the same in a lot of situations. Because you're right, I died to avalanche all the time. I think this is the sort of thing that we'd like to do. Part of the reason we do it is because it is it's quicker, it's easier, we can implement more things faster if we double up on things like this. But you're right, it does cause problems, and it is the sort of thing that we are looking to improve as time goes on. Excuse me there. Like a tiny little bit of this cold that's just won't go away. It's just lingering. Do you ever think we could see an in-game adventures tavern for grouping up and play mini games like Galaga while waiting for a group up? I'd love that. I'd love that. One of the things we have tried to do a few times is like make reasons for people to go to town hubs, make reasons for people to like go hang out in situations like that, like show off the stuff you have. I think a lot of that comes from many of us playing WoW for so long. Like, I remember the day we did our first like server first and like got special drakes and went and hung out in Dalaran, and it was awesome. We don't really have those style of like situations that happen very often or at all. And I'd really love to. 1, 1, 2. We need 3. Alright, then. When will you make multi-shot great again? There's the next really awesome change to multi-shot that I know of is coming in LEO. But there might be something before then. Minor game design question. Affixes that add plus levels come with a secondary stat as part of their affix budget that isn't always useful depending on how you spec your skill. For example, Wandering Spirits and Hungering Souls add increased spell damage, while the skills can be used for ailments or mana recovery. In this case of Wandering Spirits. Is that by design or something that may be reviewed at some point? Yeah, I think the generally the affix that is like those plus skill affixes are attempted to be as generically useful as possible, and the thing that every ability, I think almost every ability shares is the ability to do damage, and so frequently you'll see just like damage as like a thing that goes with the skill levels, because they are attempted to be as generically useful as possible. So that is like the goal is something that's there that we are trying to do for sure. Sorry. Oh, awesome. Derek, Derek was sending me something, a note about the previous question, and it was the wording was very similar to something we've been working on for LEO, and I'm like, there's no way that's ready. He's like, it's coming in season 4. I'm like, there's no way that's ready for season 4. There's no way. Yes. Okay. So volume sliders for loot drop sounds in the settings as requested earlier in a question is coming as an option that will show up in this list. So you will be able to adjust the volume for loot drops independently of your other volume sounds in game in season 4 that is coming. Awesome. That's what we like to hear. A brewery just, I'm like, I placed it so far outside. No, I didn't. It just spawned naturally, didn't it? All right, one of my personal gripes with the feel of the game is the sheer amount of gigantic enemies, 10 times larger by volume than the player. And while champions are definitely not helping the problem, yeah, even without them, even some normal monsters are enormous in size. I know that some people actually like it that way, but what are your personal feelings on the topic? I personally, I like having a wide variety of enemy sizes. I like it when there are certain enemies that are really big and certain enemies that are really small. And having that variety, I think, is important. However, I will agree that there are some that have gone a little too far, especially with champion multipliers. And so in season 4, we are adding in, so right now, champion size adjustments is just a number, a multiplier size for the number, a single number that multiplies the size of the champion, and doesn't care if it started out big or not. So now we're adding in individualized size multipliers for champion versions of enemies, so that we can say, like, okay, this one when it's a champion, it's this big, and this one when it's a champion, it's this big. And that'll allow us to dial back some of the more ridiculous ones. Maybe dial up some of the ones that aren't stated enough. You know? I just love jumping up there so much, even if it's not the most efficient way. One. Mike, as a developer, you stumble upon a time machine and are able to send 3 messages of advice back to your younger self when you started working on LE. What would they be? Also, cheeky request for a unique for hammer throw. Give me that Thor power, please. There's something we just did with this. With like a Thor themed hammer throw thing. There was someone made a joke about Thor and Captain America is all hammer throw and shield throw players want. Here there was like sometimes we put when we're doing ideation for nodes, new nodes for things, we'll put names down as like placeholder names. Most of them are just like jokes and references to things. And one of them came out, I can't remember what the node was actually about, but yeah, we were working on hammer throw, and there was some node reference to that. But what 3 pieces of advice would I send? What 3 messages of advice would I send back to my younger self? How long can these messages be? Can I just like send the game files as one big message? Save us a few years of development. I think I don't know, because like overall things have gone so well. And I don't know I'd be so afraid to muck it up and be like, you know, send some message back to myself that causes me to like ruin the game early. I don't know. I think it'd be like work on procedural map generation earlier, and part of the problem is it's so much these things that I'm like, wish we'd done this sort of things. We knew that it was important to do, and we're like, we just don't have the manpower or the time to do it right now. Yeah, getting multiplayer nailed down earlier is really important. You know, things like that. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for this. Go full Back to the Future, just be like, buy Nvidia stock. However many years ago that was. Start buying RAM now. I tell myself in fall of 2025, in August 2025, buy the RAM. Don't wait till Black Friday, because it's not going down, it's going up. I was sitting there with it in my cart, didn't do it. I'm like, yeah, it'll be a sale, I'll wait. What will come first, Shaman missing skill or Paradox class? I think that's already on the roadmap, isn't it? Isn't the order of that literally on the roadmap? Kind of don't want to say it if it's not, but I don't have to link to this. Derek, any chance you can get me a link to the latest roadmap? Is it? Might have just found it actually. Got it. Never mind. It's not in the roadmap. I'm wrong. I can't tell you when it's going to be, apparently. I definitely didn't just accidentally give it away or anything. No. That would have been crazy. He never makes mistakes like that. Do you have any stats on what percentage of dungeon completions are done without the portal charm? I do not. If I was a betting man, I'd say 1 in 1,000 is done without it, or even less. I think that is like generous to the number of people that run the dungeons. Like, yeah, I don't think I've done one this season without. Like, I think I'm just 100% charm only this season. Hey Mike, since primordial items were introduced last season and you mentioned how corruption potentially increases the power ceiling even more, excuse me, are there any adjustments to endgame content scaling to allow us to challenge our builds in season 4? I mean, there's going to be a very select group of people that are still able to, that the hardest thing you'll find is corruption scaling stuff. Yeah, like that's still going to be the hardest thing to do. I mean, it's kind of the nature of the beast with any sort of infinite difficulty corruption. Yeah, Derek, good idea. I haven't been dying. There are some new fixed difficulty challenges and things to do. But they won't be like harder than Uber Abberoth. So from the standpoint of like what's the new hardest thing like in the power ceiling available, it is it's still the same thing. With, I guess, with the twist of the new season mechanics like introduced into there. That'll probably be the hardest thing, would be my guess. All right, round 2. All right. Less. We keep current. Well, I keep picking up that that amulet. I got so many of them. Will the offline mode be available on consoles too? I don't see why not. I'm gonna say maybe because I don't know the answer to this, but I would be shocked if not. Like the offline and online code for the game are like extremely intermingled. Making a version of the game that was incapable of playing offline would be extra work. Yeah, I don't see why we would do this. I don't know. There might be something I don't know about. There might be some. The only reason we wouldn't that I can think of right now is some rule that like PlayStation had that we just don't know about. That maybe our offline mode violates some rule that for some weird reason we're not allowed to or something. That's kind of the only reason I can think of. But I have no idea what that could possibly be. Do you intend to implement mysteries, Easter eggs, lore things in the campaign? There are some. Spend an hour looking pillars that glow in the ancient era when you get near, and it was nothing. Yeah, there are some Easter eggs in the campaign. There's I think they've all been found so far. So like I think there's a big Reddit post outlining all the Easter eggs and everything like that. There is one that is, I would say is the hardest one to do. And you may notice that there is no NPC standing here. Well, it is possible to have an NPC stand right here and talk to you and do stuff. That's the hardest one to activate, is getting a specific NPC to stand right here and do cool stuff. And if the tricky part about it in online is in order for it to get it to actually spawn in online, you have to be the one, like you have to unlock it yourself, and then you have to be the one that creates a new instance of the end of time, which causes it to trigger and spawn. So if someone who has this Easter egg solved on their account is the first one to enter a new like shard for, I'm on it, Derek. Sorry, new shard for the end of time, then it will be there for everyone. So if you don't actually necessarily have to do it to see it, but if you have done it, you won't necessarily see it yourself, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, here's another one. This is the final piece for the yeah. You guys can thank Derek for actually getting to these teasers. I'm gonna have to blitz a few in the end here. I'm sorry. I'll answer some questions while this is up. Yeah, this is the last piece of the doppelganger set in renewed form, which is so you can see the affix that gets moved over. Hey Mike, beasts materials count as key means we get all the resources, hearts, bones transferred to legacy as other ones. Yes. Did you already answer for the stashes models, or at least do you make it possible to copy paste stashes set up between legacy and seasonal and buy them on the fly with golds? No, that's not set up. We're still working on the whole system, so it's not coming yet. I'm sorry. Stash item quality of life is always welcomed. I agree. Are you guys happy with the balance of TH exalts versus normal legendaries? I struggle to find any primordial affix or unique to my disintegrate build. I mean, there's always going to be at least one primordial affix that is really good for your build, right? Like, I mean, maybe there were just uniques in every single slot. If there were uniques in every single slot, and you couldn't replace any of those uniques with a Primordial Exalted, that would be a pretty big miss, I think. In general, I know we were looking at adjusting some of the ranges there. Especially on the set item affixes that get pulled over. When you think about Last Epoch in 3 to 5 years, what do you want it to offer that it clearly doesn't today, especially compared to other ARPGs? I think I'd love to see it have a more I mean, this isn't gonna happen, so like the giant asterisk beside this first thing. I'll give you what I would actually like to see that I think might be possible. I'd love to see PvP. We have no plans for PvP in the next 3 to 5 years. I've tried, it's not on the list. I think something that I'd like to actually see happen, and I think we'll actually see happen, is more social elements. Like we're talking about that, like playing WoW and sitting in Dalaran and that sort of thing. Like that sort of thing happens to some extent a little bit in other RPGs, but I think it happens almost non-existently in Last Epoch right now, unless I'm just not seeing these experiences. So those are the sorts of things that I'd love to see more of. Are there plans to implement DLSS FSR in the near future? I don't know. I'm surprised it's not in right now. I hope so. Speaking on exalted items, are we getting any changes that might make crafting good T8 exalted items easier? Thinking about Rune of Evolution and Fortune Potential. We are... There's... How do I answer this? This is an issue that we are looking at, and we are trying to tackle it. Some of the things some of the tools we want to use to tackle this issue aren't going to be available until later seasons. So there's some like stopgappy things that we're looking at, but major changes, probably not too many. Right now, I think increasing some of the tiers of the outcomes that can happen, and with corruption, there are ways to get sort of like Hail Mary amazing exalteds that can pop up out of nowhere where you're like, oh, that just happened, sort of thing. Easier? I don't know. More opportunities I think might be better right now. I think more opportunities, just different ways that it can happen. Push this down there. To any dev programmer free in chat, question for you: would it be a nightmare to make it so when you pick a COF prophecy that it doesn't force a reload of the new props? That way you can just keep selecting the ones you want, if that's the game plan. Oh, like just or it doesn't reroll at all. You're like, I got one that I like, just buy, and you spam the whole thing out of the same one. No, that's really easy to do. That is trivial to do. But having that actually happen in game is a question you want to talk to game design, not a programmer about it. And there's lots of overlap there. Like there's like the vast majority of people that are on the design team are also programmers too, to some extent. But it's that's the sort of thing that changes the dynamics of the system a lot. Now, we are looking at changing the dynamics of the system a lot. Because I think there's this... I think there's an issue right now in CUF, and I don't think this is a secret or... like it's something I've talked about before, is that you spend too much time in the re-rolling process. And part of the reason why the re-rolling process is there at all is this sort of like is a lot of it's around theming. Like you're not in full control of the system is intentional. It's sort of like the things that are prophesized amongst the stars, and you know, like getting the like manipulating those to the best outcome possible, but still being at the whim of the cosmos, sort of thing. And that theming and that vibes is something we like, but at the same time, the current system, it gives you enough control that you can force it to do what you want it to do, with a lot of frustration. Which is kind of not great. Ooh, I heard a shiny. It's a neat little path that I don't think I would have thought was actually real without something going on at first. All right. Is the issue of the environmental hampering movement and skill actions being improved soon? Is the issue of environment happening? I can read. Is this specific with like specific like Shield Rush and Rampage and probably just those two? Maybe Flame Rush might do the same thing. I know this is stuff that has been being worked on. I don't know if there's any major changes to it. I gotta just change my portal to T. Any new champion affixes for season 4? I don't think so, no. Maybe actually. There's new champions, so there must be new champion affixes, I think. I can't remember what the affixes are though. Oh, this might be a reskin. I might be a refresh of existing ones. All right. Is an option to copy stash tab layout coming in the future? Yes. Setting up a detailed stash with all those tabs can be such a pain. Yeah. So we are working on this. Stash tab layout, saving, transferring. Exactly how it's going to function and look, it is not finalized yet, but like broadly speaking, a system in which you can not have to set up your stash every season from scratch is being worked on. It's not coming in season 4, but it is something that we are designing and developing actively. One, none. We'll get there. Okay. I think it's time for another teaser. Yeah, I do. Here's the part where I regret not doing things in order, because I don't remember which ones I've done. Okay. I don't think we've done this one. So this is how the filter system currently currently looks. And this is how it's getting changed to. Maybe I should put them side by side. That might be better. You guys want them side by side on the same screen? Is that better? I'll put these all in Discord after this, so don't worry. Sulston get sure, but it's gonna be very related. Very related. Do you think we'll see a useful piece, unique chess piece for Necromancer in season 4? I'm not gonna answer that. It's too specific. I don't remember any off the top of my head. Sorry. I know the rogue is due some updates, but other plans to make bows more equal in affixes to melee and throwing. There are adjustments to specific affixes. Well, details in the patch notes, I would assume. But there are like related affixes get changes at the same time. That's very common. It might be great to see a question. The forge in the roadmap post looks different from the forge shown in the official trailer. Interesting. One looks activated and the other doesn't. So will the town's forge have different functions from the normal F key ones? No. The pressing F is the same functionality as the one in town. The one in town is strictly a tutorialization slash like in-world representation of it, to be like to prompt that there's something here. It's like, hey, click on this for a new player. Cool, I see a thing. I know forging is a possibility now. I don't think that's worthwhile having Tiny in the corner. Oh, I haven't changed like anything about my build this run. I've hit this plateau where like I want to corrupt my gear. I just want to corrupt it all. Okay, so what do we say? I'll port my character to the new season. I'll corrupt all my gear, and we'll kill Uber Abberoth on the new patch. Huh? Great idea. No problems with that idea. Maybe we go get some regular Abby kills in. I really want... I did so many Abberoth kills. So many. Trying to get that helmet. Nada. We good? Do a reroll. Will omens be a larger mechanic than tombs? Will omens be a larger mechanic like the tombs, or closer to an instance by instance one like mages? Bigger than mages, smaller than tombs. Like tombs had the whole weaver's tree that went with it as well. But that's a pretty high bar to clear. That's pretty cool. It came like out of the building. Okay. We would like to complete this successfully. Butts. The blood one always gets me. Like delayed explosions. All right. Well, that was easy. And everything's not reset. What did I do wrong? Oh, these ones don't count? They don't count. Since when have they not counted? I feel like I knew that on some level. I'm gonna pretend like they counted at some point, even though they probably never did. All right. No. Go to sit sword. Do you think scaling of health versus damage per corruption is in the right place at the moment? No. I would personally prefer non-bosses to be a lot tankier at higher corruption. Yeah, I think that the rate that they scale at per corruption, I think needs to increase. So like the difference between 100 and 200 corruption should be a smaller just a significantly smaller difference than the difference between 1,000 and 1,100 corruption. Like it should, the amount that corruption changes the difficulty should ramp up faster, I think. Just dumping. We're dumping. I can't believe I made that mistake. Ugh. This is why I need to actually look at chat. I'm sure someone told me. Go drown my sorrows in the blood of Abberoth. Hey Mike, happy Friday! What are you most excited about in Season 4? What class are you looking forward to playing? Rogue. We're playing Rogue. I am most looking forward to playing Shadowrend Bow Rogue. Maybe some two-hander Blade Dancer. Haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet. But Rogue. Rogue. I think I'm going to play Rogue. So excited to play Rogue. It's my favorite class. It's getting a huge update. I'm really excited. I really love like bouncy playstyles where you're like you've always got a button to move. Like so Shadowrun has like a little hop to it. Getting like backflip on shurikens and shift on like a low cooldown and like little backflip on smoke bomb as well, and like having all these different things that move you a little bit. So you're just like always repositioning around the battlefield with different abilities. I love that. And this is just another tool in that toolkit. Oh. Beauty. Beauty. All right. Hey, that's a cool shield to get.
No. Abberoth. You can rest now.
All right. So 2 teasers left. Really? There's only 1 left. Did that one. Oh, this one here. Nice. Okay, cool. We got another teaser. Woohoo! Is this the last one? We'll run through them at the end and y'all can tell me if I missed one. Hey Mike, happy Friday. What? Oh, I already answered this. Still happy Friday. Do you have big plans for LE 2.0? I kind of feel like LEO is the 2.0 sort of release. Because we do have very big plans for that, and like it's stuff we've been working on for a very long time already, and you know, like that's a really big moment for us. I think that I'm really excited about. It's like the stuff I've been working on, and I'm like super duper biased on this because it's the stuff I've been working on for the last like year now. These are all going to be in LEO, so yeah, really excited about that. Are there any plans? There's also a ton of other stuff. It's so far from things that I've been working on. So like, there's huge other stuff as well. Like not to mention the first Paradox class and console release and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we got big plans. Are there any plans to rein in imprints? Currently, it feels like they are really remove the loot chase and make the game less interesting. Yeah, I'd really like to see. I think there are some really good and some less good things that imprints are doing. I think overall they're doing more positive than negative. I think that being able to say like, this is the thing that I want to get, and being able to get it eventually, I think is really nice. Yeah. We will roll through all of the teasers right at the end, just because I feel like I may have missed one that's big list, but we'll see. We'll see. If you could implement PvP without it requiring a big technical and dev time load, how would you even balance it such that it doesn't feel too build dependent, i.e. fair PvP without ruining build diversity and build theory crafting creativity? Yeah, this is actually the reason I think why it's not going to ever get implemented. Not a technical or dev time restraint. I think it's this. I think this question is the reason why it won't actually get done. Personally, I think there's sort of 2 ways to go about it. One, and like, this is the way I'd like it the most, which might, I think for a lot of people that do PvPs in games seriously would not appreciate this. And it would just be like, let it be broken. Let it be ridiculous. Let it be silly and insane. Maybe put like a couple little knobs on the system to like, you know, if a certain strategy is completely overpowered, like make stuns barely work or something like that, you know, or make, you know, specific things not function the way that they do normally, on like a very, very, very limited small scale, just to make it not stupid, but you know, let it be a little ridiculous. Don't make it a primary game mode. Make it about like a fun thing that happens. Don't make it a, hey, here's the most important leaderboard ladder and here's how you gain access to this special gear. You know, make it mostly just for fun. I think the other way is you start to balance. I mean, this is the big dev time load. You know, so the question is without requiring a big dev time load, but I think the big dev time load could be, you know, you're now maintaining 2 balance lists, sort of thing, which is dangerous from a tech debt perspective, to say the least. But I think maybe a more realistic way that it could get done is not having a traditional PvP setup and having it be more of like a PvPvE or PvMVP, or however you say it, where like maybe there's like 2 teams trying to kill enemies down a gauntlet, and every time you like take time to kill a special enemy that you don't have, an optional special enemy, you can send that enemy over to the other side to make it harder for them. So there's like optional challenges you can do to make it harder for the other side, and like as soon as one side like wipes, the other side, the first side wins, sort of thing. Something like that, kind of like Dr. Mario style. All right, will bows have a usage for other classes? I hope so one day. There's not any immediate plans for it at the moment, but I would love to. Is there anything in the future that will give us +1 to lightning totem? Oh, like total number that can be summoned? Maybe. Hey Mike, how much do you think of you're getting rid of power creep with the latest patch? I mean, I don't think we're getting rid of power creep. Power creep is I think this is maybe kind of the opposite is happening this patch. There's a lot of power creep. Yeah. How confident are you feeling that we will get to see Mike Uber kill before 1.0? I might have to cheese it a little bit, but I want to make it happen for you. We might not get the authentic celebration. All right, we're gonna roll through these. We have 1 minute left. We're gonna roll through these. So we did the filter sounds. We did that one. I know we did that one. I'm not gonna do that. Where are we? We did this one. 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 We did this one? I think we did. Did we do this one? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we did them all. That was it. Those are all the teasers. We got through all the teasers, got through the questions. I think we're good to go. Yeah. All right, well, I will post all of those in Discord immediately following. So Dev cheats, got it. No, I would never actually cheat. I'll still use the real live version of the game. This might not be alone. So yeah, we'll be back same time, same place next week. If I failed to answer any questions, I apologize. Please, you can head on over to Discord and I'll try and answer it there. Yeah, we're getting close. We've got like Hype Week coming up. We got patch notes coming up. We're what, 12 days out, 13 days out? Yeah, we'll be back same time, same place next week. I hope you have fun. I know I did. I think I said this all in the wrong order. That's okay. See you later, everybody. Have a great time. I had a blast this time. All right. See ya.